Alright, so in this session I'm going to explore how to use the VK extension Debug Marker. So what this does is that it allows you to name and tag objects which are then used later to do something else. For example, it can be used within the render doc because it recognizes these tags and it can visualize them. For example, we can tag or name a draw call and see that appears in here, which is much more useful than just seeing a draw call and then having to guess what happened, maybe just one pixel changed. Instead, if we see that we are drawing grass blades and we don't see them appearing, that means that there's something wrong with the grass, right? And so I'm gonna follow this tutorial by Sasha Willems, which recently gained a prize from Kronos itself for its outstanding help to the community. This is a pretty old tutorial, so let me first change a few things from my test application, and I want to bring it down to something that is much more less heavy. And to do that, where does the initialization happen? Clear render thread init. So I'm gonna bring the resolution of the render target down to 1024. We don't need to do any stress test in this stream. And then I'm also going to bring down the number of strokes for each draw call, for each submission, which is already 100. That's fine. So if I now play it, we should have something that we can start working on. Meanwhile, let's see. Okay. So probably gonna need to also revert the fragment shader, because I was testing what happens if disabled the blending whatsoever, so that actually speed up the whole rendering. But we now need that back. It's oh, snap. So I don't have the extension anymore because I've just installed the community edition of Visual Studio. So Visual Studio extension spare v. So this is what I need. Thanks again to Sasha Willems for this extension that is going to speed up the development process itself. So from here we've got it down here. Okay. Let's get it installed. Probably gonna need to close it before doing so. Visual Studio. It would have been a good idea to uninstall the other version of Visual Studio, because now I have Visual Studio 2019 number 2, which didn't get renamed after I uninstalled the older version. Anyway, why is this taking so long? Come on, it's just a simple plugin. And meanwhile, let's have a look at how to do this. So we first need to enable the extension, and especially we need to make sure we've got that extension. And these are the layers, but we need to enumerate the extensions instead. Waiting these processes. Let's see if I can force something. And tasks. Is this going to end the installer task? Or wait, maybe this is one of them. Yes, that was one of them. And we are left with the PDB server, which I'm gonna kill right now. MSPD. It's not even listed. MSPDB. That's not even executing. Come on. Let's see, end tasks. That does. Yeah, it did it. Okay, so while it is installing, we need to make sure we have the extension, and then we also need to has been added to Vulkan header. Okay, that is good. Initialization, and we probably want to get to the tutorial as well. There should be something about the marker. Here it is. Visual Studio. The debug marker. Okay. So let's have a look at what is in this example. We first need to initialize the function pointers. Then we're gonna need to set them up. Fair enough. Next, set the debug name of an object. All objects in Vulkan are represented by their 64-bit handle. Okay, So this is pretty simple, which is the one that we can begin with. Device, the object, debug report object type. And I wonder, what should I put in the object type? And the name we want to give them. Set an object tag. Start a new debug marker region. Okay. ek command debug. Okay, this applies within within the command buffer. Insert a new debug marker into the command buffer. So this is a whole region, and this specifically marks the command buffer. Okay. At that specific point. If active, so what does the active change? Okay, so if it's present, that's just a safe check. Awesome. Okay, the stream is still good. So let's begin with the device properties. But before doing that, we still need to compile our fragment shader. And why is the extension not showing up? Installed SpearV. Disable, uninstall. So where is it? It used to pop up here, but I'm not seeing it anymore. Word frog, that should work. We've got that in the path. Let's see if red loading makes any change. Maybe I've ignored one of the messages that appeared up in here. Okay, so that is the thing. I needed to allow that thing in order to the extension to run. So now I should have it in here. Okay, I can now ignore that message, and we should have it back up and running. Yes. Although we are getting some out of order rendering. And why is that? Probably because I've messed around with this. And we need to so I definitely did something that I don't remember. That was still in general. Let's see if I've changed anything that appears in the log. Div log Did I change anything anywhere? Render target. I must have changed something somewhere. It used to work, but now it is complaining about something. And I'm wondering if this can be the cause. Let's see if this pipeline barrier makes any difference. And it seems it does. And let's check again if that was the cause. And yes, that was actually it. I'm not sure if you can see from the video, but we are getting some of these weird block blocking things. Anyway, you can see it clearly. That happens because the order at which the samples are drawn is not the same as the nearby blocks. And it doesn't look like there is any pattern. It's quite random, but it's definitely repeating itself. But placing this back definitely fixes the things. This is another pipeline barrier which makes the fragment shader wait until the color attachment output of presumably the previous call has ended, and that makes it clear the order at which it must execute each command. And that leads to a cleaner look, and every draw command is in the right order. Cool. So that being said, we're gonna need to come back to the application itself at the base class, which is the app class, and navigate to the initialization, and here we need to maybe not there. We want to do it from here at the device level. Here we want to enable our extension, which is named VK KHR debug. How is it even called? Let's jump back to the tutorial. Debug marker extension. It's not cron, it's an extension, so let's just copy and paste it over here. Let me pause this for a second.